What's going on, guys? This is Alex here with 814 EDC, and I hope you guys are having a great Memorial Day. You guys are going to see this after Memorial Day because I'm filming these on Memorial Day, but hope you had a great holiday weekend. God bless the troops. Everyone, just need to remember what the long weekend's for, so just be thankful, and I hope you guys spent some good time with your family. I know I did. I've been out doing some mowing, doing some trail maintenance around our property, and now I'm going to do some filming for you guys. So I have a couple reviews to do for you for this upcoming week. And the first one is the Orion Knives Solaris. Now, I actually had this video all filmed, and it was supposed to be my last one that I uploaded last week, and I somehow deleted it off my phone. I was kind of annoyed with myself, but we're just going to do it again. So the Solaris was a gift to me by my friend Paul Windmiller, and so I went over this when I unboxed this knife. A little, kind of a short story. I tend to ramble on, but I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. But Paul was on a live stream that Bearded Gear Jake was doing one night, and Kevin and Kyle were also on there, D2M Knives and Gear and Lefty EDC. And they were joking around saying whoever sent Jake the most super chat money would win a free knife. And Paul and I donated some money, and Paul was winning for the longest, for most of the live stream. I waited until the very end, and I donated a little bit more and had him beat by I think it was like a penny or something like that. And he ended up donating like $15 or $20 more, and I was like, I don't want to do anymore. So it was just all in good fun. And then a couple weeks after that, Kyle and Kevin's live stream on the Edge, Paul was also in there, and they were joking around saying that there was a contest, and the most super chat donated by somebody would win a free knife and stuff like that. And Kevin was joking around with me and whatnot, and Paul was actually in that live, and we were chatting in the chat bar, and we ended up messaging on Instagram, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to give you this knife. I really would like you to have it." And I was like, "No, you don't have to do that, dude." I've kind of just blown away. And he was like, "I really, it's not really a knife for me. I would much rather go to you, who would use it and enjoy it and get to experience it." So ultimately, he did give me the knife, and I'm super glad. This is probably one of my most, if not the most, one of my most fidget-friendly knives. I play with this thing all the time. So Paul, thank you so much. I will leave a link to Paul's Instagram channel down below, or Instagram page down below. Just go check him out. Go tell him I sent you guys over. He's a really, really good dude. I'm glad to have him as a friend now. So thank you so much, Paul. I still am loving on the Solaris. So getting right into material, as you guys can see, it has black G10 handles. Nice pop of blue for the pivot collar on both sides. The blade steel, as you can see there, is 14C28N. Has two thumb studs. It has a flipper tab. The pocket clip is milled titanium, which is nice. And the liners are like partial liners, so they're not the whole way throughout, and they're not skeletonized either. So this knife is not heavy, but it definitely, it feels like it has a good weight to it, I guess you could say. And then it also, of course, the drawing point of this knife is the button lock right here. The blade is a flat grind, almost full flat, but it has these nice flats up here. But it's very thin behind the edge. It's a very tall blade. This thing's a pretty solid slicer. Like I said, it's thin behind the edge, nice and tall. The edge is still, very sharp on it. Right there is a Orion logo. And yeah, this is just it's kind of a funky little knife, but it's really cool at the same time. I'm almost sure it was designed by, I think his name's David over at Blade Manor. I know he, designed this knife out and saw it into fruition, which is really cool, because I was talking to Big Red on his channel chat that I did with him. That's probably close to 2 months ago by now, if not 2 months, but he had the Solaris laid out on his table for one of the shots, and I was talking to him about it, and he's like, "Yeah, it's just really cool when knife guys, knife enthusiasts and knife hobbyists, they have a vision in their head, and it's cool how they see it through like sketches to renditions, the 3D prints, to, you know, prototypes, to the real knife. So it's just really cool. I don't know David personally. I've heard about him through other channels like Big Red and other ones, and just being in the knife community, and I've heard he's a great guy. So I'm just happy to support another knife hobbyist and another YouTube guy in this whole, you know, in this knife world that we live in. So that's another perk of this knife, I think. Throat's getting a little parched. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything for materials. So next we're going to jump into action, and like I said, it does have a flipper tab right here. It has dual thumb studs, and then it does have the button lock. So thumb studs are really good. I'm going to be honest right up front. Every opening action on this knife is fun. So you have the thumb flick right away. You have the middle finger flick, really good. You have the flipper, a lot of fun, and then you can hold down on the button lock and give it a flick. That's not something I've talked about that before. You know, if I'm going to use this knife in public, I'm not going to whip it out, push the button, and like whip it open. I'll be more apt to, you know, use something that's not like jerking my wrist around. But for a fidget toy, it's a lot of fun. It's very, very smooth. This is on, I think, multi-row bearings, which is really cool. But the flipper is really good. Thumb flick, really good. Middle finger flick, really good. I did take this knife apart because the pivot was not staying tight very well, or very easily, I guess you could say. But so I took it apart, cleaned it all up, put some pivot lube on there, and threw some Loctite on the pivot, and there's no blade play, solid as a rock, and I have the action tuned very, very nicely, I think. Like I said, this thing is, if not the most fidget friendly, definitely 2 or 3 in that regard. It's just a lot of fun. You know, there'll be times where I take either myself or with my family, we take our dog on a walk at least once or twice on loops around our property, and a lot of the times I will get up, and before we go on a walk, I'll grab a knife just so I can flip it and play with it as we're going on and, you know, doing our walk. And a lot of the times I grab this just because it keeps me entertained. There's technically 3 ways you could open the knife: with the thumb studs, the flipper, and the compression lock. So really, with the two thumb stud ways, there's 4 ways, because you can thumb flick, middle finger flick, button lock, and flipper tab open. So that is just really cool. That's kind of a perk of the button lock. And another perk is having the guillotine drop shuttiness of it. You just push in and it just swings shut. If you guys, I mean, that's one awesome thing that a button lock has going for it. And I feel like, I mean, obviously you have the Malibu, which is crazy popular right now. I had that on from the very beginning of my channel. It was a loaner from Kev. And I loved it. I fully plan on getting the Malibu in my collection, but I'm kind of just holding out because I'm thinking they're going to do different colors of it, because I messaged ProTech one day and asked about it, and they basically hinted that they are maybe going to start bringing out new colors towards the end of the year, because I would love to see, you know, off topic of course, but I would love to see, you know, like a red or gray or green, just because I think those would sell like hotcakes. I think the Malibu is so popular, and by putting it in different colors, it's just going to, you know, increase the popularity. So I'm kind of holding out for that right now. But there's that. There's the Spartan Blades Palace, I believe, and it's a button lock. And I don't know. There's the Elementum button lock, which is pretty controversial because they took the flipper tab off of it, and the only way to open the knife is going like this, which I think is kind of stupid. That's really why I didn't buy it. I would like to get that in on loan sometime just to experience it. But there's that. And then I don't really, there's not a whole lot of button locks out there. Off the top of my head, oh, the Mordax by ProTech is another button lock, which I've heard is not as good as the Malibu, but still pretty close to it. That's another thing I would like to at least get on loan someday. But off the top of my head, there's not a ton of button locks out there. And I'll get into the price and stuff, and, you know, if I think this is a good value or not with my last category. But I think that this is just a great knife. And the action, which is what we're digressing from right now, so I apologize for that. But to wrap, I guess, the action up, it's very good. Super, super fun to fidget with. Just a great piece of knife. It's, I mean, just really, really good. So, action, awesome. Next up is Ergos. And this might be the only thing that I can complain about this knife, and that's just me being nitpicky. So as you guys can see, it has this big choil here, and when I grab onto it, it's very comfortable. I like the shape of the handle, how it kind of, it's up contours and then gets flatter back here. I get a really good grip, but with this choil, it's almost too big. I wish it was smaller and it hugged my finger in there more. That's my only gripe, is it's just my finger can kind of be loose in there, and I don't really like that much. I just wish it was more, you know, it hugged my finger a little bit more. But again, that's just me being nitpicky. But from this overall ergo standpoint, it's very comfortable. You know, the G10 is it's nice to the touch. It's not too grippy. There's no sharp edges anywhere. It's comfortable. It's a comfortable knife, guys. I just wish that the choil was a little bit smaller, I guess you could say. But from, you know, my saber grip standpoint, it's very comfortable. Hammer grip, still comfortable. Reverse is comfortable because you can kind of get that finger position back here. But as overall, like, the normal thing that I use it for is saber. Like I say in pretty much every one of my videos, I use saber pretty much every time, and it's comfortable. No complaints about anything besides the choil. But someone might love the choil if they have bigger, fatter fingers than I do. I don't know. It could just be, you know, personal preference, I guess. But next is carry, and like I stated before, this is a titanium milled pot clip. It is not loop over style deep carry, but it is pretty deep in the pocket. I really don't mind it because you really only get like a little bit of the knife sticking up out, and I don't mind it. I think the pot clip looks very nice on the knife from an aesthetic standpoint. And you know, the knife isn't super lightweight, but it's not super heavy at the same time. It's a little funky looking, but really when you have it in pocket, it's all smooth back here. You do have the flipper tab down here, but it's not abnormally big, so you're not gonna really catch too much on it when you're going in and out of your pocket. And like for me, I keep my phone and my knife in my right pocket, so I don't ever reach that far down in there anyway. I normally just reach in with a couple fingers and pull out my phone, so the flipper tab doesn't bother me. But yeah, carry is good. Would I like to see in a deep carry pot clip, loop over style deep carry pot clip? Probably, but like I said, this does go pretty deep in the pocket for what it is, so I have no gripes with it. And like I said, it does look pretty good on the knife itself, so I do like it. But yeah, carry, good. Now that leads me to my final category that I'd like to talk about, and that is price point and like would I recommend this knife. I absolutely would recommend this knife. I think that this knife, which comes in, I believe $80 when I looked at it last, it's a hell of a price, guys. I mean, 14C28N, it's kind of right at home in that price point, between, I'd say anywhere between 50 and $100. And I've had good, you know, I've had good experiences with it. I have this in 14C28N, and I also have the Civivi Riffle in 14C28N. And they both, the Riffle has a hell of an edge on it, and this, if this is a factory edge, it's very good. It's still very sharp. I haven't cut a ton of stuff with it, but it's still sharp. You're getting a button lock for 80 bucks, guys. $80. And you're getting the flipper tab. You're getting the thumb studs. You can open with the compression, or the compression lock, the button lock. $80. And on top of that, you're supporting another member of the EDC in the knife community, David over at Blade Banner. So that's just another kind of icing on the cake thing. And I just think that you'd be hard pressed to find something of this value in the button lock realm, because like the Malibu and the Mordax and the Palace, I believe, they all go for like 200 plus. The other button lock that you could find in this price range is the Elementum button lock. And while the Elementum is a great knife, I love my Elementum, it's really stupid that they took the flipper tab off there. So if I was putting the Elementum button lock up against this, I'd choose this all day. Because on this, you're getting the flipper tab and the thumb studs, as opposed to just getting the button lock on the Elementum. So I think it's a really good knife, guys, for $80. Especially for that fidget factorness. It's really, really good. And I've heard a lot of other people give a lot of positive reviews about it and say how it's one of their most fidgetiest knives and how they love to play with it and everything like that. And it's just really, really good. Now you can get the blue pivot collar with also the blue backspacer, which I forgot to mention. You can either get that with a stone-washed or satin blade, which I have the stone-washed. I also forgot to mention that, so I apologize. I'm slipping today, guys. Or you can get the stone-washed or the satin with red pivot collars and red backspacers as well. And then also on Orion's website, they have, or at least had, I believe it was like marbled carbon scales for it and jade G10. So you could also dye the G10 for any one of your colors that you like, and it can be personalized to your knife, which is really cool. I will leave a link to Orion's website down below in the description. So if you guys are interested, go check them out. As of me filming this, I haven't checked in a while to see if they are in stock, but I knew for a while they were in stock, out of stock kind of thing. So usually guys will just have to check the link down below and let me know if they are in stock. Or actually, you don't have to let me know that, but let me know in the comments down below if you guys have a Solaris, if you guys want one, what your thoughts on them are. Again, I love talking to you guys. It's awesome talking to you guys. It's one of my favorite things. So that's really where I'm going to wrap this up with, guys. I really don't have much else to say. So this was my full review on the Orion Knives Solaris. A very, very good budget sort of button lock. So I kind of lost my train of thought there, so I apologize. But I guess about it for now, guys. So you guys are going to see me wearing the same outfit in the next couple videos, so I apologize. You guys know how it is with my filming on one day and spreading them out throughout the week type of thing is. So I don't know. I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for stopping back in and for watching this video and for checking out my channel. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.